Do we need to clap or anything to sync our audio?
Yeah, let's clap. Yeah.
Okay, on three. On three, ready?
Yeah,
1,
ready.
2, 3.
Almost synchronous, right?
Okay. 1, 2, 3. I think we're lagged. This is Load in the Loop, sponsored by Blackfire.io. I'm Eric, the CEO and co-founder of Mage Mojo Magento Hosting. For the last 10 years, we've been hosting exclusively Magento, and we provide a deep level of support for Magento. On this podcast, we review some of the customers and share what we find to help others. And I'm here with my co-host, Ivan.
Hello, my name is Ivan. I'm running a consultancy business here in the Netherlands, and I work with merchants and solution partners in order to bring Magento performance to the reasonable level and not burn CPUs and not overuse memory on servers and run it smoothly. So here today I'm gonna join Eric again to review one of Mage Mojo's customers. And Eric, should tell us what the customer is doing and what they're having issues with.
This is pretty common for us. This is Adams Horse Supply, and our customer wrote in and they sent us a note from their customer that said, your website is incredibly slow to the point I stopped browsing it because it was so frustrating waiting for each page to load. Mm-hmm. And I noticed it was definitely slower loading categories and items with about 30 people on the site. So the owner's getting customer complaints, and she says there's not a lot of traffic on here and it should be scaling and it shouldn't be a problem. So that's pretty common for us to get complaints like that, and we like to help customers with that. So let's take a look and see what we can find.
Seems like interesting project. I see customer does a lot of work by themselves mostly from the design, right? So it's always nice to see some small business actually choosing Magento 2 as their solution. So let's see how it plays out from point of view of performance and what can we find on this website, right? So let's start with a simple profile, right, of homepage. Correct? Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. And you disabled aggregation. Okay.
Yeah, right away, because I don't know what's going to happen. We're just going to run a test profile and see, if we, just stumble upon anything. And right now, as I'm speaking, it still didn't reach anywhere near to rendering the page. So I can still continue speaking and I can build complete sentences and I still see 0%. So I think we're gonna have some nice...
There's definitely a problem there.
Yeah, there's definitely some problem here. So let's see how much more words can I put into the sentence before actually it completes. Probably a lot of them, right?
Should we solve some math problems? Solve equations.
Yeah, let's do some calculus, right?
I think that's what's going on in the background. It's like mining Bitcoins or something. It's hashing.
Man. Yeah, we're going to see soon what actually happening over there, so... Let's see. Okay, so it's done. Finally, yeah. I didn't have to write a poem or some short article in the meantime. So it's more or less good. So let's see what's gonna be the result. We're still waiting a little bit on getting it completed.
Must be a lot of data.
Yeah, probably there is a huge stock trace to see, what's happening over there. Also, by the way, last time we didn't actually mention that Blackfire doesn't add any overhead in production. You remember? We were talking about Blackfire and overhead. So Blackfire only gets triggered when you actually run a profiling session. So when you regularly browse in the website, Blackfire doesn't add any overhead to the rendering because basically it's just a simple if statement, and only if this if statement is hit, only in this case it's gonna add hooks to function execution of PHP. So it's quite safe actually to use it in production. So it's quite huge feature, I think. So let's take a look
it's
at
very cool.
what's happening here. Yeah, so because I did create a zoomed view of my browser, so I don't see right away as the numbers. So I have actually to go and click on a time dimension and see what's happening here. And seems like I'm very unlucky one because it took like 60 seconds.
Wow.
So let's just take a look what's happening in the timeline. And seems like timeline is taking a lot of time to do it. So, okay, so what's happening here? We have 35 seconds on actually starting object manager. And what I see here, it loads configuration from a file system. So it doesn't hit cache at all. Another thing that I see is quite strange. You see that they're using developer object manager factory. So this is gonna be definitely a problem.
Does that indicate developer mode?
Probably could be also that they just running in default mode, not the production mode, and because of that, yeah, there is some issues with files being not actually compiled in advance, and it's gonna result in slowness. And then we see that this actually just this short view, I think, right? So how many? It's only this part. Oh, so this is till 40. It's actually all bootstrap of the application. So yeah, UI, even on my 16-core CPU, it's not running very well right now. So I see that it's a little bit lagging. I cannot work with UI with this huge stack trace.
Yeah.
You see, it's too much lag here. Yeah. So then there's other parts, but I think mostly there is majority of the things that is a problem is related to actually not cached version of the page, and as well developer mode. So let's go just to complete time-oriented visualization, because here we can see
I like
some
this much better.
highlighted methods. So we see like 7,000 times there was a call to get matched node in a DOM. So it means like, it works hard with XML to parse all the configuration structures of Magento. So 62% of all page time is spent on actual bootstrap, and from this one is 61 is actually on configuring object manager. So it's definitely a cache problem. We can fix it very fast by just enabling cache, right? Another one is related to another subtree over here. I remember I was also seeing some kind of another time spent on another so 71 actually on unread configuration caches. And here also I saw some reflection as well reported here, but I don't see it right away here. Let's see if we have it in this one. So here as well, you see a reflection parameter get class gets invoked like 10,000 times.
Damn.
And this means like that compiled mode of Magento DI is not used. So it's using on the fly resolution of all the dependencies. So it's very slow. So let's take a look what we can do for them, right?
You better check the mode and the caches first.
I even don't want to go to other pages because it doesn't make sense if the caches are not turned on, right? So let's go on into the website itself. Let me actually switch the view here. Let's enable it. So now the viewers also going to be able to see what we are doing. So first of all, let's check what's their cache status, right?
Yeah.
And seems like I'm actually losing my charge on my headphones. So I'm just going to put them in charge box. I hope I can still hear you with a single one.
Okay. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I still can hear you.
Cool.
And here, so we see the current status.
There you go.
Yeah, so config is disabled. Yeah, it's a bad sign because it means like there's a lot of unredundant IO operations. Layout is disabled. It's also a good thing. Block HTML is disabled. This one we actually can keep disabled because maybe they had a reason to disable block HTML cache. Maybe there's some extension or anything. I don't want to break this functionality.
When we ask them and they don't know like why it's in this state.
And full page cache as well is disabled, but we are not going to enable full page cache because it's not going to give us any information about actual uncached performance of Magento, right? Over there. So let's see what can we do. So let's first of all do cache enable, and first we're going to enable config and layout, right?
Yep.
So let's see. Okay, so it's enabled. Now let me switch again the view, and we're gonna profile it again. So let's run another profile. Let's disable aggregation again. And
do you need to hit it twice? Will you see it generating this time?
Yes, actually, I just realized that I have to wait another 30 seconds.
Well, that was pretty quick.
Yeah, it was quicker than before. Let's see what actually happening there. Maybe because it was using cache, maybe some uncached data was already cached and was used the second time. Maybe there are some places where there's actually too much uncached access. So let's see what we have here. Let's see the time view. So it's now 8 seconds. What an improvement.
Okay. Getting better?
Yeah, getting better. Let's see a timeline. So it takes some time still. Okay, so here I see now the templates are actually spending the most time, right? So this is already a good sign. So caches are actually got enabled, and now we actually have the actual issues that they face. So now we just fixed the biggest problem that probably was a complaint of one of the customers, that they were so frustrated to actually browse the website. So now probably at least they can sell something online. Let's see. Let's see also another thing. Let's check what's their current deployment mode, because this also affects a little bit CPU time spent by Magento, having so many classes, and if you don't have them compiled, it will probably take a lot of time to get all the plugins running, all the classes instantiated, and so on. So let's see. I think it's deploy mode show, but I'm not 100% sure. I usually run it as part. Okay, current application mode is developer. That's great.
Wow.
Oh, I actually didn't switch a view. Sorry. Sorry, dear viewers. You didn't actually see it. So here it is. So I run this deploy mode show, and it shows us that actually it's in a developer mode. And what we need to do, we need to set it to production, because in such a way, Magento will automatically right now recompile all the dependencies. It will also put store into maintenance mode while we are gonna run compilation process. So sorry for short period of maintenance, but it's worth the wait time afterwards, right?
Yeah, we have approval for them. They know that we're going to be working on it, so
yeah. definitely.
We always make
Otherwise,
sure to get customer permission.
yeah. So let's see. So
That's part of our support too, Ivan. Whenever you open a ticket, you have the radio option of write or read only access. So when a customer opens a ticket, we know like they give us permission to modify and make changes, or don't, only read and report back what we find.
it looks like it's a little bit long process. I don't know why. Looks like a very long compilation process start.
Well, maybe we'll find out why it's not in production mode.
Maybe.
Maybe it'll error out.
Maybe there are some extensions that actually broke compilation process or something.
Yeah, it could be.
Can we let me open another window? In the meantime, I'm gonna also connect to it.
Oh,
okay.
There it goes.
Oh, it just somehow. Oh yeah, because it's enabling of the production mode. It starts it in a separate shell process, and it doesn't give you pass through into your std out. So you have to actually wait till the operation gets completed until you actually receive information, is it done or not. Okay, so now the static content gets deployed. So let's hope it's gonna be over soon.
We could sing a song. Do you know any songs?
Oh, it's done.
Oh, wait, there it goes.
We didn't have to put ourselves in awkward position, by singing a song. So, okay, so everything is compiled. Production mode is enabled. And let's see what numbers now we can see here. Okay, so let's see. Here we have the time that is spent here. Another performance problem of this customer, right? We see an issue with the menu, right? And over here, we see that there's a lot of element lists getting rendered here in the profile section, and then there is a menu. So there is top menu, then there is rendered regular menu, and then there is templates profile, and then there is other elements inside of it, and basically the menu actually rendered 2 times. So not a single time, but 2 times.
Wow, what the? That's really weird. And the menu is block cache, right? So that block cache is on, so it should be cached and still rendering twice?
No, we didn't enable it because we don't know what side effects it's going to bring. Because
we just switched to production mode, okay.
Yeah, we switched the production mode, we enabled configuration cache, and we enabled layout cache, but we didn't enable block HTML cache. Because maybe there is some kind of an issue, maybe some of these blocks, like this get profile HTML, it gives me a little bit of a hint that over here there is happening some kind of private data leak into the cache, maybe, and that's why they decide, hey, let's disable the block HTML cache, because
private. Oh, like a cart header, like you have so many items in your cart and that's not working.
Cart header or customer name, could be possible, something like that. Because could be that the extension that they're using, like another. Oh, it's actually we know the extension name. Wait a second. Let me hover it over. Mage Zone Ninja Menus. So here it is. And another Ninja Menus. So this is our performance bottleneck here.
Extensions.
Yeah, so it takes some time. So basically,
we're gonna at you guys, get at us.
From the page load time, relatively speaking, it takes from 1 second mark till 4 second and 67, right? So this is the time spent on rendering a menu.
Twice.
So it's like 3 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's 3 seconds from 6.4, right? So just by eliminating these menu issues and putting it into the cache saves at least 4 seconds, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we had half a second for the preg replace.
Yeah, so
for the
preg
minify.
replace plus this one, yeah, it's all adds up. And then there is the smallest part is actual valuable content of the page. So the smallest part is actually takes from 4.6 till 6.2, so it's like almost 2 seconds. And the view didn't update. Why it didn't update?
Recording, all the recording stuff, the Zoom and the OBS, maybe. It's a lot.
A little bit, probably also because I did make my Chrome view
Zoomed in. Yeah.
So maybe if I zoom out, maybe it's gonna show something. Let's dive in here and let's see. Now it's still showing me the menu. Let me refresh. Okay.
So they have MageZon Core, MageZon Builder, which I think is their page. Well, I don't know. They have a MageZon Page Builder too. MageZon Ninja Menus, MageZon Product Labels, MageZon UI Builder. Huh. I don't know which one's doing the preg replace.
Oh yeah, so here's another one. Okay. So the profile, it's kind of a root template of this Mage Zone. So that's why I got confused. So this is actually the actual page part. So we see here, you see templates profile, and this one contains elements, and one of the elements taking a lot of time to render, and it's element product grid. And this one is the actual issue that's happening over there. And here I see some load and loop here as well. So we have another Mage Zone extension here.
The product labels.
Yeah, so
that's the load and loop.
Yeah, so it hits Magento get used product collection on after load of the main collection. So probably it does it on every single configurable product. And I can imagine that this customer is mostly selling actually clothes, right? Clothes and accessories for horseback riding, right?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, so they definitely have a lot of configurable products, and yeah, I see here there is
horse blankets and
there is 580 milliseconds are spent on these load product labels that could have been optimized.
So that's half a second right there on the labels.
Yeah. So I'm more than sure that this label extension is doing some kind of a check if product is sellable, or if product has a special price, and if it's configurable product, it probably walks through all the simple products of that configurable product or stuff like that to show like on sale or last piece or whatever.
They do. They have a lot of apparel in addition to like accessories and horse supplies. So they do.
So here's definitely a problem. So we can see here, it can be optimized. I can tell how to optimize it because I don't see the code, and probably it's a little bit out of scope of our recording. But we can tell definitely that they need to take a look into this area. So this product labels module. Another one here is catalog product collection load after again. Wait, this is kind of crazy. Something getting products loaded again. Wait a second. Where is it? Oh, there is another label extension.
Amnesty labels. What? Okay.
Yeah, so we have two label extensions, and it's quite funny, like we have a musty extension that loads in a loop, and we have also this mage zone extension that loads in a loop. So
yeah, they do. The amnesty label. They have a lot of amnesty extensions, actually.
Yeah, so this is definitely a problem as well. So they need to take a look at that one. It's like 80 millisecond per product. Yeah, like 60-80 per every single configurable product added by a musty extension.
Wow. So this is the home page, and they have a limited. How many products do they have on their home page? Let's see.
They have like 4 products.
Yeah, not that many.
So to render just this basic data, like probably over here, there's even no need to have these labels at all because I don't see any labels here.
Yeah, I don't know what that's doing. Is that doing the regular price and the save, like as low as regular price, save?
Well, let's inspect an element. Yeah, it's product labels, and it's actually mage zone product label.
Yeah, oh, there you go, yeah. Wow, okay. So
this one definitely is a problem. So let's go back to this one. Yeah, so this is just a home page. Let's quickly take a look what's actually happening in actual category. So let's go into some category page.
Yeah, you said what, 80 milliseconds per product for amnesty labels alone. Well, that was pretty quick.
Yeah, because, we didn't enable profiler to see how much time everything was called. So let's take a look just how much time it takes to render a page without profiler. I wouldn't say it's very quick, like 6 seconds.
Okay. So 6 seconds.
It was feeling a little bit quick, but it's actually not.
Right, yeah. So that'd be about right. How many products? 25 on a category?
I think 48.
Oh, 48. Wow.
But not all of them are configurables.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're not showing the.
As soon as you see this as low as, it's a sign it's a configurable product because usually.
Well, that's the mage zone then, right? That label.
This one, yes, this is mage zone. Yeah, I think on every single product there is some labels from mage zone. I don't see that they are using actually a musty labels. So that one probably they can disable if they don't use them. So it doesn't make sense, to just have 2 load and loop extensions on a page. So let's actually profile a category page. So we see it takes 5.99 seconds, right? Unprofiled. And we can see now actual overhead when you actually run in a profiling. Okay, so it takes some time, right?
Okay. Should we sing that song?
Yeah.
So we sing how many 99 bottles of beer on the wall? Do you know that song in the Netherlands? 99 bottles of beer on the wall.
No, I don't know this kind of a song. In Ukraine, we didn't sing about a beer, so
No.
we did have some child cartoon about pirates, and they were singing about 99 bottles of rum. So
Yeah, that works. Yeah. See, that translates to any country, I think.
yeah, so
I
it's a
thought it
little
would
bit
have been
fun.
honey vodka. 99 bottles of honey vodka on the wall.
Not when we were kids, you know. So it's a little bit different. Okay, I'm gonna put another microphone, another device. Just a moment. Seems like I've lost an audio. Do you hear me?
Yep, I hear you.
Oh, now I can hear you as well. I can put another AirPod into the charger box. So let's see. It's still running, right?
Yeah, 48 products, lots of loops.
Probably I should have disabled aggregation, but it's already too late. We are too far.
What does aggregation do again?
Yeah, so by default, Blackfire runs a profile 10 times. And when you have aggregation enabled, it means that it's gonna give you an average value across all of those runs.
Oh, okay.
It also will remove flukes, you know, like if you have some cache, and it will
that's pretty cool.
Actually take the common paths combined together. Except the timeline view. The timeline view doesn't account for this kind of runs, because timeline requires you a full page run, but the rest of the views are actually aggregating the data. So that's why it takes some time when you see that it's loading data. It means it's actually combining all the runs together and provides you a report. Okay. It's already a nice number.
Wow. Yeah.
2400 database queries. Very promising. Let's look on a timeline, shall we? Right?
Yeah. Brace yourself.
Yeah, let's.
If it loads, it might lag.
Okay. So the menu we already know, right?
Yeah.
But here we can
see. Did it render twice here too? It did, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it's just a nature of this module itself. So this page builder or whatever is provided by ImageZone, it does a lot of database queries, in a loop. So let's say it knows, hey, I have the sections. So instead of preloading all the data you need on the page, they just decide, hey, I hit this section and now I load another piece of data for this section, instead of just collecting all the sections together and then just doing one single database operation to grab all the data you need. Maybe they have also a wrong database structure to do such kind of queries as well. That means, just a problem with an extension itself. Okay, so here we have another load product labels. And here you see actually impact a load in a loop gives on a page load time when you consider amount of time spent on every single product. So now we have 48 products. Before we had like 4, and it was spending like 400 milliseconds. Right now with 48, it's 2 seconds and 400 milliseconds of load time added by those products, right?
Yep.
And we see here internally, we see a lot of spikes, and those spikes indicate that there's a load in a loop happening. And there is 150 milliseconds of actual IO happening as well over there. Here as well, I see that for every single product, we probably, if we're gonna count this small blocks, you see, we probably can count like
48 of them.
38 of them, right? And
Yeah.
and it takes 160 milliseconds per product to render one of these blocks. So let's see what's happening inside.
Wow. So 48 times 160.
Okay. It's Magento swatches module.
Ooh.
So
Yeah.
I think we can easily fix it. You know?
All right.
Because it's one of the easiest fixable functionalities, because I don't see that they use swatches. Do you see? I don't.
No, well, no, not on this page. I don't, like, if you go to the product, you could probably get that stuff in different colors and links, but on the
let's see.
category page, why would you have swatches on the category page?
Oh yeah, here actually they use it. So yeah, it's a little bit, it's gonna be hard to achieve, right?
But why would swatches be on the category page if they're not displaying them?
I think it's just a problem of the swatches module, because it's the default one and it just enables everything by default. But if there is, let's say you didn't configure any products, let's say, as far as I understand, the swatches module does the same thing as a lot of developers do as a mistake. They think in point of view of objects. You remember last time we were talking about developers thinking in objects, not in data structures itself. So they think, hey, which objects already exist in Magento that I can check if I can actually render swatches or not. And from point of view of configurable product, because like there can be different products on a page, and they don't know which of them have swatches and which of them don't. So they need to access every single attribute. They need to check every single attribute. Hey, does this attribute needs to be shown on a category page or not? But when they trigger that load, Magento also automatically loads all the simple products of that configurable product. And then, it's gonna result in load in a loop. So
there should be like a switch to say like, okay, I'm not going to use swatches on the category page, only the product page.
It's a good idea for a module. We can develop a module that will add this simple drop down in admin panel and release it as an open source solution for people who have this kind of a problem.
I think we see this a lot actually, because we hear a common complaint like, why my category page is really, really slow. Why can't I show more products on my category page? And then they're using swatches.
Yeah, so swatches is a common problem, I think, because the swatches module is not high performant module.
Well, it's probably okay when you're just doing it on the product page and for one product, but when you're on the product page for one product, it's probably okay. But on the category page, no. Like I can't think of a customer example where they would have swatches in a category page. Like
I have one of the customers, but I can't tell the name for now.
you do like, is it a clothing company, or are they selling?
It's a clothing company. They have this killer feature. You don't need to go from category page in order to add the product to the cart.
All right, that's kind of edge case.
The standard Magento, the standard Magento implementation, right? You just have this add to cart button, but it's gonna actually bring you to a product page.
To the product page to configure it.
Yeah, and for that customer, you actually can do it right away from category page. And I'm right now fixing for them this performance issue with load in a loop for their custom functionality, in order to be able to add with only 3 database queries, be able to show this configuration for all the products in category page. So not to do it, for every single product. and then it's just gonna be a very nice thing for them.
That's cool.
Not of course for Magento Core, because it's custom modules that they have in their custom project. So let's see here. As I said, in the category, this swatches module, what needs to be done, we need to create for them a module that would disable swatches on category page, right? So it will just disable this observer. Basically, all the implementation over there is a part related to, this render of swatches around. So this. Wait a second. Where is it? Magento swatches get HTML output, and this swatches render configurable. So probably we just need to remove this block even through layout. Actually, for this customer, we can just create a layout update in the regime that would remove this block from a category page.
Oh, okay. So it's because they have that block in there that's calling it even though it's not being used.
The block gets rendered anyway, and Magento tries to get this JSON config, as this JSON config is actually triggering all this load operation. And itself, even here, the database operation is actually not executed. The biggest problem here is actually that all the PHP objects get iterated again and again and again for every single product, because there's already were other actions like these labels who are already loading used products. So here we don't see big of a overhead. But
do you see any writes? Do you see any writes on those swatches? Because we've had customers that would generate a lot of writes on their swatches, and I'm not sure if that's a default behavior or something custom that they did.
Or probably something custom, because the writes are not happening in default one.
Okay. Yeah,
but this get product details HTML is kind of gets repeated all over and over again. And then we have another load in a loop. You see? But this is a small one, but still.
The media gallery, huh? Yeah, there's no media gallery on the
but
category page.
The problem is that this Amasti extension, it triggers this load used products and get used products. So it actually iterates again through all the products in order to render labels. And it again triggers some database operation to get used product collection. And this one actually triggers a database query. As we see, it takes 3 milliseconds per each product. And additionally, on executing database queries, there's a lot of PHP iterations happening that increase it to 28 milliseconds per product. So we can see it quite clear here. So basically, most of the contributors are Magento swatches, the standard module, Amasti labels, and these guys, I forgot already their name, MageZone. And MageZone labels, and also page builder on the homepage, right? So this also contributes.
Ninja menus. Ninja menus is rendering twice and looping. And then they also have the preg replace, which was the minify. Was that a MageZone as well? Minify?
It was also a MageZone. So MageZone so far is the champion here. So we can give them an award.
We're going to do the Top Gear thing for the most database query calls. I'll put it up on my background here.
Or maybe we can introduce, performance masters or something like that. and give a real award to them for doing this kind of thing. Okay, so it's quite interesting here, right? So we found some.
This is really good.
some performance bottlenecks. There is not something that we can do an easy fix like the one we did last time. You remember? It was just
Yeah.
simple pull request and it was all over. But this one is more complex, and it actually requires to get someone to help them actually to fix it. Do they
Yeah.
run any agency by any chance?
I don't know who did their build or who they're partnered up with. Well, we can certainly talk to them and find out.
Yeah,
But
just
the
just
block in the category page, that's something easy we could do. At least get that out of those swatches.
I think Mage Mojo definitely can help with swatches. This is something that is a pain point, definitely here. But still, this MST and Mage Zone, and again Mage Zone and Mage Zone, those are the problems. Okay, so let's take a look at the product page, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go into this nice configurable product page. And I think we're gonna be amazed because I already see it's a little bit slow. Yeah, definitely. Definitely the same story, but it's interesting why. Because there's not much data, right? There's only...
Well, there's one product, not 48, so...
Yeah. What's happening there? It's interesting to see. Right? So you can start singing 99.
Well, have you ever ridden a horse? Have you ever been horseback riding?
Actually, once in Ukraine, when I was living in Ukraine, me and my wife, at that time she was my girlfriend, we went for a horseback riding club outside of Kiev. And
that's cool. That's a romantic date.
Yeah, it was very nice. It was actually on Valentine's Day in winter.
Nice.
and in Ukraine, winters are very warm. in quotation mark. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so we have some results already, I think. So what we're gonna see here with this product page?
I don't know. What's your bet?
I think we're gonna see some database queries definitely happening there.
Wonder what they could be getting from the database though. Reviews maybe. I think I've seen that one pop up, or something like recommended products, or like product view history to show well, no, I didn't see any recommended products, but maybe there's a block in there.
Like there is 1.5 seconds spent on database queries. 1.5.
Well, if there's 1,000 of them, yeah.
So it means that there is, apart from that there is 1,000 database queries, there is also some slow queries in, because you remember on category page there is 2,400 and it's barely hit 1 second, and here there is this amount of queries. Let's see what is the most time consuming.
Inventory. Why would that take? Well, call it 18 times, but still. Wait, why would you call the inventory 18 times to get like?
For every single product in configurable.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, they have 18 versions of it.
Yeah, so instead of SKU in, there is SKU equals. And I think they're using 2.3, right? So there is some core patches available. Let me just quickly look it up. So it was Magento inventory
2.3.2,
and here there was some wiki page about the known performance issues.
Oh, is this MSI?
Yeah, it's MSI problem, and they actually need to apply some patches. But first, they
Yeah.
need actually to fix their deployment process, because I saw they are not using Git on production, or actually that they don't use. Maybe they use Git, but
It's
the
broken,
Git
it looked like.
information is broken. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
There was I've seen a couple of MSI patches in Twitter from the community, but did Magento endorse any of them and put out their own in the MSI project?
known issues. Let me quickly take a look into secret chat and find this URL, and it will pop up in the browser. Yeah. So here it is.
Oh, there it is. We'll
Okay.
link that in the show notes.
Yeah, so this is the performance patches, and now you actually have to go to another page, known performance issues. So let me just put it into the chat just to put it there. So first of all, like you see here, there is 4 different patches,
Wow.
and one of them is actually about indexation. Another one is response times for catalog related scenarios on websites running default source and stock combination on storefront in admin. So as far as I understand, they actually don't use MSI, but MSI is enabled, and it's hitting these special view tables in MSI that produce this problem. So actually updating to 2.3.3 will solve this problem for them. Here is
Yeah.
actually it's already released in 2.3.3. There is also other MSI related bugs that are available as patches from Magento. So yeah, it will definitely help on product page performance, because it would reduce this number of time spent on database dramatically. And probably the same thing is gonna happen here as well. Like 189. What? What is calling it by SKU? This is crazy.
Yeah.
Let's take a look what's happening there. So definitely here I see options, wrapper, and here we see catalog inventory, and here we see this. Oh, so here's our slow queries, you remember?
Yep.
So this is the one that can be saved by applying this patch and actually or updating to the recent Magento version. But here's also, I see there is another piece of page load time that I want to select, but it doesn't let me, because somehow OBS and everything, it's a little bit slows down my
It's
machine.
a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot to process together with UI rendering. So yeah. And here we go again with the menu, right? So the top menu takes 3 seconds on the category on the product page, right?
What? That's longer than, well, Ninja menus. Yeah, 3 seconds, right?
Yeah, it could be possible that that there's just some additional operations happening, or maybe it takes longer depending on the database throughput. Okay, and here what we have as well. Oh yeah, so basically it's actually 2 offenders. It's the menu and inventory. So far it's the biggest impact. So basically fixing MSI and caching the menu would reduce the load time on the product page a lot. Definitely.
Now, would you recommend they upgrade Magento or just do the MSI patches to fix MSI?
I don't know what's their current state. I would leave it up to the implementator who did the base build of the store, because
Yeah.
I don't know what's the history in order to suggest something in that area, because it could be possible that I would suggest, hey, update, but like maybe there is some kind of custom functionality that gets broken, and they would spend
I've
much
heard
more time.
the
Yeah.
232 and up has been going pretty smooth from what I've been hearing. Have you heard similar? That 232 to 2.3 and 2.4 has been smooth?
Um, I work right now on getting one of the customers to 2.3.3. I didn't yet see, any kind of issue so far, but we actually didn't release it yet, so we don't know yet what's gonna happen. But in general, yeah, the biggest offenders are definitely menu and this bug in MSI on the product page. So we can see definitely much more smaller number of database queries. I still think even if you fix the menu, there's still going to be too much queries, but I don't see their impact right now on a load time much. So it could be a lot of queries, but from point of view of the value for the money spent, caching the menu makes sense, and fixing the issue with MSI.
Caching the menu, is that block cache? So you would recommend, we got to get block cache on?
I'm not sure, because it could be possible that this Ninja's menu, maybe they don't use any cache at all.
You're right.
It could be possible.
And it's interesting it was disabled.
Yeah, so we don't know why it was disabled, and I don't want to enable it and introducing some issues on the website. Like, I know that configuration cache and layout cache are safe to enable, but this one, sometimes there is a reason why it's disabled. So
yeah. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. So right off the bat, they can really improve, experience of the end users of the website by fixing these extensions and fixing some core issues. And we're gonna work together probably on this swatches small configuration module or something.
Yeah, I like that. I would really like to see a module that does that, and also maybe we could do a commit to the core that would maybe make a switch to turn it off on category pages. That seems like a useful thing to me.
I think it's gonna be a little bit of a problem, because getting some pull requests merged to the core takes a long time and a very tiring process. So you have to really dedicate a lot of energy to get it through. So
it's true. We've tried with our cron extension to get that in. I think the core team just wanted to go a different architectural path, and so we released it as an extension, and the extension gets installed a lot. And everybody's like, well, we wrote an extension. Why didn't you commit it to the core? And we're like, well, it's not that simple.
It took me, you remember the issue I was working on, for which you provided me servers to fix a core bug with cache locking. I started investigating an issue back in March, and only in October, just before Magento Live Europe, I did final fix for the problem. And still, I was unable to debug some of the stuff that was failing in functional tests, and only with the help of core developers being actually involved into the process and actually looking up on their Jenkins servers the error logs, what was happening in the functional tests. Only that helped me to actually finalize my pull request.
That's who has access to that to.
Yeah, so from point of view of the community, right, you can do a lot of code changes, but I don't want to, bring something into the core that's gonna break a lot of production installments. Like, I want to make sure that all my tests are passing, and if I broke some tests, I want to know why they are broken. And thanks actually to Mikhail Slapko and Igor Minyailo and Oleksiy. I forgot his last name, but he's also one of the core engineering team. For helping me out with actually getting those logs and finding what was the problem there. And only after that I was able actually to get the final fix. But still, the pull request is still not merged because it needs to go through internal processes of Magento. And it's anyway not going to be released before the next, probably even not the next one, but after the next release, because everything that goes into the next release, even if the pull request is merged, it's not going to come into release because there could be already code freeze phase in Magento where they don't introduce, new functionalities or changes, and it's just going to go maybe in half a year, it's going to be finally in core. So if we start doing a pull request right now, it's probably going to be merged in
Q2, Q3 next year.
Or maybe in 2 years. We don't know,
It's true. It could be a low priority and it just doesn't, they don't get to it. It's true. They have to prioritize what they do.
And right now I think they're more focused on PWA and getting GraphQL APIs and everything.
Yeah, finish the APIs.
So
that was my closing keynote was get that done.
Yeah, so basically probably the actual problems on the current front end are not that interesting for them, maybe as well. So who knows? But in general, I think creating an extension is the first thing that we can do. And then maybe we can dedicate some time to make a pull request, but extension should be already available for everyone to install it because, people have this problem right now. They cannot wait, for another year to get this issue with all the Magento updates, right? So they need some solution right now for the problems that they already have.
Yeah, that's exactly what we said. We have problems now with the cron. Our customers need it right away. That's why we did the extension, and that makes sense. So if people are wondering why you do an extension and you didn't get this into the core, well, that's why. So cool. This is good information.
Yeah. Also, I think from point of view of me, let's say as a consultant, I'm not employed by a company that dedicates a budget for me to spend on going on and going back and forth about my pull requests. Spending time. I'm doing it with my own money, with my own commitments. I'm not getting paid for it.
Yeah.
So I cannot spend much of my time doing it. So if anyone wants, let's say, to get, let's say, an extensions that we're going to release and just submit it as pull request to the core, I'm completely okay with that because I just don't have time to spend on the burden of going through all of the process.
Yeah. Well, we just brought a new guy in. Let's do the extension and we'll see if this guy, he's working weekends, so he has some free time. We'll see if he wants to try to do a pull request with it and work the process to get it through. So we'll sponsor that and put our money into that. See if we can help the community out. We're always down to help the community. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, cool.
Okay, so I think we are pretty well over time with the episode already.
Yeah, we're way over time.
It was a long one today, so
the customer's going to be real happy.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of things that can be improved here, and I definitely like to suggest to this merchant actually to think about setting up a process, doing some kind of automated deployment, separate their code base from updates on live, like don't use development mode on live system, don't disable caches on live system, just have a proper deployment script, maybe running through Jenkins, or even I don't know, do MageMojo have Jenkins servers available for deployment or not?
We don't right now. In Stratus 3, we're building in CI/CD system where you can run commands. So we have basically an event system that you hook into your repos, and it's event driven, hooks into Stratus events and communicates between the two. And then we have pipelines of commands that you can run. So basically the actions that you take in your Git repo will trigger that type of build stuff here. So that's a Stratus 3 feature that we want to put in.
So what I can suggest for any merchant, like if you are using, let's say, Bitbucket, Bitbucket has very nice CI/CD out of the box already, which you can connect to any project. It's called pipelines. So you can create pipeline.yaml in your repository, and you can automatically create a build artifact and upload it through SSH into production server. And then you can do a hot swap and run any SSH operation over there. So it's very valuable feature. Also, you can run tests as well. That's a good thing to do too. So if, for instance, someone already wants to do it on Stratus, they can already do it. So they don't need to wait for the final feature.
Yeah.
But
and we have a CLI that allows you to clear caches, do the rolling and rolling deploy. No database changes. You can get to 0 downtime.
Yeah, so it's basically possible. And for this customer, figured out why cache for blocks is disabled, and just get it fixed, and then it's going to be much better experience for everyone.
Yeah, if anyone watching wants to submit their stores for reviews, you can reach out to us, LITL, this is short for Load in the Loop, at magemojo.com. Ivan, what's your email address if people want to reach you?
Oh yeah, my email address is ivan@ecomdev.org. So
and then just your name at your name for on Twitter as well, right?
my name on Twitter is ivan.chepurnyi. I think they can find it in show notes, right?
Yeah, we'll link it up in the show notes.
Yeah, so it should be pretty easy to follow up. So so far, what kind of summary can we do from this show?
Well, I think you summarized it pretty well. Be conscious of your caches and your development mode. Make sure you're in production mode. MSI has some issues in it, so you can either apply the patches or upgrade. Configurable products and swatches. That's on the category page. We're going to put out an extension that allows you to disable that on the category page if you're not showing those, which most of our customers aren't. Amnesty labels, there's 2 labels in here. There's MageZon labels and Amnesty labels. It doesn't look like Amnesty labels is being used, so switch to one of those. And even still, that's adding like half a second at least to the page. And then Ninja menus, that needs to be cached. We don't know if there was a problem in the block cache or not. So Ninja menus is taking like 3 seconds and rendering twice in some instances. So you need to enable block cache, see if that helps, or if they punch through it. And if they punch through it, maybe switch to a different menu option. And then the preg replace for the minify, that was also, I think, in MageZon as well, and that was a half second. So be very conscious of your extensions and watch your performance. Try to record your performance before you install one. Just look in the browser and use Chrome DevTools to see what the time is. Time to first byte.
And also right now, MageMojo customers will have out-of-the-box support for Blackfire, right?
Yeah, we're releasing that this week. So get your Blackfire discount.
And then they can just do and set up Blackfire, run profiles in their stores, see if they have similar issues. Even merchants themselves, they can also run a profile because it can already tell a lot of metrics. Because if you just open a profile and you see that, let's say there is more than 100 database queries on a page, It means that there is some kind of an issue and you need to ping your developer and discuss with the developer, hey, there is a problem. So
Yep.
go and
Cool.
fix the problem. So it's that simple.
All right, awesome. So yeah, if anybody wants to have their site reviewed, we'll make a copy of it here and review it for you. Just get at us. And I guess lastly, you can find us on Twitter at Load in the Loop. So hit us up on Twitter if you have any questions about the show. So
Yeah.
thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.